tonight on Raw and SmackDown, we are at Superstar Shakeup. So we're at the new season of Raw, SmackDown, the new season of WWE moving forward, and a lot of things are going on. A lot of people are trying to quit. We'll get into that later. A lot of people are injured, and so WWE is in a weird state right now. So I'm curious to see how the Superstar Shakeup is going to go. But I figured I'll give a little bit of my predictions going into Superstar Shakeup of what I want to see, what I think it's going to go where, and how it's going to go out. Because usually Superstar Shakeups, since we don't do a whole full-fledged draft again, and which, in a way, I kind of understand why we don't do it that way and just do the Superstar Shakeup. I'm kind of cool with that. My thing is, they usually pick like 5 big players, and then they think about the rest are just like things you find out on the internet or in passing and things of that nature. I'm really trying to balance out to see what show needs more. And honestly, Raw needs more than SmackDown, because SmackDown kind of raped them the last Superstar Shakeup last year. So I think Raw needs a lot more going forward. And with these injuries going on, like I said, I don't know where storylines are going at first. So automatically, I'm going to talk about who I think is going to come to Raw tonight. And that's going along with NXT UK. I also think that's going along with NXT 205 Live and stuff from SmackDown. So I think Raw is going to be a loaded 3-hour show tonight. And number one, I think when it comes to people from SmackDown that's going to Raw, I don't want it to happen, because I think he fits so much better just being on SmackDown, because that's the house he built. But I think they're finally going to put AJ on Raw. I really think they're finally going to make that move and put AJ Styles on Raw, because the Fox deal is coming up. I think they're going to put a big name superstar on SmackDown. And right now, I think I'm just going with the people that's going to Raw. I got AJ coming over to Raw, because he has been on SmackDown since the draft has started in 2016. So he has mostly done everything, or have faced almost everybody on SmackDown that there is to face. And some new, fresh opponents would be good. However, I don't know how fresh the opponents are going to be, because the only thing I think is you got to trade AJ for a top star also, which I'll get to when I come to SmackDown. So I have AJ going to Raw, and I also have the Usos coming over to Raw. The Usos, they've been there, like I said, since 2016, since the start of this draft, and they have really have come up to be one of the best tag team in WWE, the best tag team. And with them losing to the Hardy Boys on Tuesday with the Superstar Shakeup, I was like, okay, they got the belts off of them. I don't think the Hardys are going anywhere. Hardys staying on SmackDown. I don't know if they're going to unify the belts or anything. That's not for neither here or there. But I said, the Usos did everything on SmackDown. You got to get them away from the New Day, get them away from the Bar, get away from these teams that they already have done already, and they don't use Sanity at all. So it's time for some fresh teams. Raw ain't got no teams, but at least it's a fresh start for them. And I think the Usos will be good at that. So with the Usos coming over to Raw, I have Naomi coming over to Raw as well. You're not going. I don't think you're gonna break up the marriage stuff. I mean, it ain't gonna break it up, but I think that Naomi coming over to Raw will be a fresh new start for her. Once again, she started SmackDown at the beginning of the draft. AJ, Usos, and Naomi, they've all started at SmackDown. When the brand split started back in 2016 again, they started on SmackDown. So I think it's time for them to have a new home and time for them to represent something new. Represent the red a little bit, which I think that'd be really cool. So, Usos been Crips long enough, time for them to be Bloods, but I think I think that would work out for Naomi, because, and I think also that probably put her more in the limelight, because she has been treading water on SmackDown. She's been the SmackDown Women's Champion before, but I think her with Becky Lynch being up there, because I think Becky Lynch is coming over as a champion, even though the rumor is that they're going to do women, there's not going to be no brand split for the women, I don't think. Or the tag teams, I heard. But, once again, we don't know. I can only go by what I know now, and that is Becky Lynch be coming over to Raw. She's the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, so I expect to see her over on Raw as well. Then also, I'm going to go into some other people on SmackDown that I think that maybe it's time for a change that probably hasn't been working too much. Maybe Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio has always been associated with SmackDown, even when they had the brand split back in 2002. Rey Mysterio has always been associated with SmackDown. And I'm like, well, maybe it could be time for... I mean, he has got drafted to Raw. That was that 2008, 2009 era. But I can see Mysterio probably trying to go back to Raw. Then I'm going to go into some 205 Live. I think Buddy Murphy, in this international draft, he comes to Raw. Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander need to leave 205 Live. They need to become bigger and better. Mustafa Ali is already on SmackDown. I say Buddy Murphy comes to Raw. He will fit perfectly on Raw. Of course, Vince is not going to do Buddy Murphy the justice that Triple H just gave him, but Buddy Murphy needs to come to Raw. And I think seeing like Buddy Murphy face like Finn Balor, that will give some fresh matchups for the Intercontinental Championship. All those things will be really good. He don't need to be stuck in the cruiserweight. He has proven a level. He can have great matches. So that Tony needs to run that lane down on 205 Live, and then you can bring some other cruiserweight stuff from like NXT or something like that. But yeah, Buddy Murphy needs to go. Also, from SmackDown, I see them breaking up the team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, and I see them bringing Shinsuke Nakamura on the Raw. Shinsuke Nakamura came to SmackDown 2 years ago. Or no, 2018 beginning or the end of 2017, he came to SmackDown. And I'm like, okay, but now Shinsuke done everything he can over there. I think Shinsuke coming over to Raw will be some... now, it depends if he still is going to resign. I know his contract's about to expire. I don't know if Shinsuke's going to resign or not. Me personally, for my own biasness, I would love for Shinsuke to stay. But he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. And I also... the Rusev... Shinsuke Nakamura thing, it just hasn't worked for me. It just hasn't worked for me at all. I mean, it was cool while it lasted, but it hasn't going to work for me because I think Aleister Black is going to come to Raw. You got to break up him and Ricochet. They work better as single stars than a tag team. They have gone through all this tag team stuff. They have went through 3 tag team title matches from Raw to NXT to WrestleMania, and they lost each and every one of them. So it really is time for them to break up. There had to be like a bad breakup, it's like a mutual ways. No, Aleister Black will work better as a single star, where Ricochet works better as a single star. So I think they'll keep Aleister Black on Raw, put Ricochet on SmackDown. Here, having Nakamura and Aleister Black matches. Yeah, Nakamura. You know that way you can freshen up Nakamura a little bit. Especially with that heel turn, make him fight Finn Balor for that mid-card championship, that Intercontinental Championship, or you can just put him in different feuds with different people. So I think Nakamura coming over to Raw, Aleister Black coming over to Raw also. Then I have, because they lost, and I think they all coming up, Undisputed Era comes to Raw. I think the Undisputed Era comes to Raw, because that way you gain a top star in Adam Cole. You gain a mid-card guy in Roderick Strong. And then you gain a tag team with O'Reilly and Fish. So, once again, they can dominate the Raw scene if it's booked right. If you want to have Adam Cole go for Universal. Him and Seth Rollins having matches. What? That would be awesome. And I think also... Roderick Strong can definitely go once again finish the Intercontinental Champion, and then I can definitely see Fish and O'Reilly taking those tag team belts off of Ryder and Hawkins. Like they're not going to be champion long. Kind of like Kofi Kingston, I think they're not going to be champion for so long. So I think you definitely find a way to get them off of there and bring up the Undisputed Era. So right now, from all the things I've said, when it comes to Aleister Black, Shinsuke Nakamura, Undisputed Era, AJ Styles, the Usos, Naomi, and I think, that right there is already a stacked roster to help shake things up on Raw. And I know they're not going to be that. There's still going to be little switches that they're going to do. Like Shelton Benjamin probably going to come over to Raw, which I think that'll be new. It'll help get him some TV time. So I think Shelton Benjamin coming over to Raw will be a good thing also. Sanity, not really sure, because because sometimes a 3-hour show can help benefit some guys. I think a 3-hour show helps benefit guys a lot, but It's a lot of filler too. But the guys you to benefit from, like Shelton Benjamin, he needs to go back on TV. So I would definitely put him on Raw, especially when we see him not too long ago suplexing Seth Rollins for that Brock Lesnar storyline. So keep him on Raw. Why not? Now, if they're going to have women's tag team championships and a women's champion, you're going to need more women on your card. So, in a weird way, I think Beth Phoenix stays for a little bit longer. Maybe just to do a year, just to come back, just to, get her feet wet. I can see her doing that. I have a weird, because there are going to be people that's going to come up that's we're going to look like, man, they came up way too early. I think Dakota Kai comes up to Raw. I think Toni Storm comes up to Raw. Do I agree with that? No. But I'm saying, but there are going to be some people that are going to come up to the shakeup from Raw and SmackDown, to Raw and SmackDown, that we're going to feel as though that aren't ready yet. Like, I just hope they don't touch Bianca Belair or Velveteen Dream. I want to keep them down at NXT. Please don't call them up. Please don't call them up. And, there's also, I'm thinking about NXT also, I'm thinking maybe you could bring up Matt Riddle. I think that's a possibility. I think that Matt Riddle, he's a very established guy. So Matt Riddle doesn't need to stay. He's like Samoa Joe to me. He don't need to stay in NXT. He's just there to help him out. But I think that they're okay that if Matt Riddle gets called up this early. Like, I know people don't really understand Matt Riddle, but I want him to stay in NXT because Matt Riddle will have his best matches like that down there because Vince ain't going to like the barefoot stuff. Rusev tried it, ain't going to work. The only person that really got over was Kevin Von Erich, but that was obviously in WCCW, so that's not going to happen back. That's not going to happen again. So if Vince sees him up there with no shoes on, he's going to make him put boots on. It's going to just ruin the whole thing. What Matt Riddle is all about. Just saying. So that's going to Raw. Let's see who I have going to SmackDown. I think they kind of gave it away a little bit. It looks like Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman are on their way to SmackDown. It was kind of like a giveaway to test the waters to see how it was. But I definitely can see Braun is doing nothing on Raw. He has exhausted everything he can on Raw. He keeps getting squashed by Lesnar every time he won a title match. He comes out and does the same shit. I'm tired of seeing him tag with Finn Balor and stuff like that. He needs to go. Strowman, I can see, hands down, going to SmackDown. Oh, by the way, because I think I also have Lars Sullivan staying on Raw. You don't need two monsters on the same show. So if you're going to have Lars Sullivan be your new monster on Raw, then have Braun Strowman be your monster on SmackDown. Then I have Drew McIntyre definitely coming over to SmackDown. He's exhausted all his options on Raw as well. I don't need no more Roman or Shield or Bobby Lashley or Baron Corbin. I don't need none of that shit. Get Drew McIntyre away from all that, and so he can start a whole new thing over here on SmackDown. By the way, I have Sami Zayn staying on Raw as well. Because as soon as Drew McIntyre came down, I'm saying, okay, he's coming for Kofi Kingston and that WWE Championship. And I think this is going to be the time where Drew McIntyre takes the championship off of Kofi Kingston. At the next, like, Money in the Bank. I see it being at Money in the Bank. I thought he was going to give Kofi the Christian treatment. They didn't. So they found a way to get themselves out of there. But I think Kofi loses it at the next pay-per-view. Especially with Big E being injured now. He tore his Achilles. That man's going to be out for about a year. So if they were thinking about doing a New Day breakup, it ain't going to come till next year. So the New Day looks like they're going to be safe. It's just going to be Kofi and Xavier Woods, which means that they're probably going to, wean Xavier Woods out a little bit. So Kofi's really going to actually start the beginning of his own singles run. That's what's going to happen. And I think that it's going to, Drew McIntyre is going to take that championship from him at Money in the Bank, which is the next. You know what? It depends, because he's going to have to defend that Saudi Arabia, which is coming up in a couple of weeks also. And maybe they use some antics to keep the championship on him at Saudi Arabia. Or, I don't know, but I do know Drew McIntyre is the next guy, and he's going to be the next guy on SmackDown. Kevin Owens stays on SmackDown. I have them bringing back Aiden English and doing Rusev Day over again on SmackDown. It's a bold move to call, but that's why I was saying Nakamura goes to Raw, because I think Rusev is just there. He's there, not doing stuff. The Bulgarian Brute thing is just not. It worked for what it was, but Rusev Day really got over it. And Aiden English is doing nothing but be stuck on commentary. And I'm like, oh, God, like y'all can do something better than this. So I would just reunite Rusev Day, take Aiden English off 205 Live commentary, and bring him back with Rusev to do Rusev Day again. I think that would be a cool thing to it. B Team comes to SmackDown. I have the B Team come back to SmackDown. They can have a nice moment with the Miz, but I don't think we're doing the whole Miz Taraj thing again. I just think the B Team comes over to SmackDown to spice up the tag team division just a little bit. I had Buddy Murphy going to Raw. I have Cedric Alexander coming to SmackDown. And I also have Pete Dunne coming to SmackDown. I think Pete Dunne will fit better on SmackDown than he would on Raw. I mean, I could be wrong as well, but the Bruiserweight, I would like to see him on SmackDown along with Cedric Alexander. Then you got Mustafa Ali down there, so you got the guys that can mix it up with those guys. It's gonna be looking really good already. So that way, we already still kind of shaking things up as well. EC3 comes to SmackDown because he needs to, because Raw and they both just killed him, and I think EC3 needs to start reboot already. I mean, this whole mute thing he's doing, EC3 is trash. Get him off Raw, put him over to SmackDown, and you can have a better things for him to do over on SmackDown. So I would say bring EC3 over to SmackDown. Then when I'm thinking of the women, I see Bayley coming over to SmackDown. Bayley has been on Raw since the draft, the brand split started. I see bringing Bayley over to SmackDown, and bring Ember Moon over to SmackDown. That will I mean I like Ember Moon on Raw, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking at the balance of women here. You could bring Ember Moon over on SmackDown. I think her mixing up with a lot of the SmackDown ladies. Cause SmackDown needs some ladies, man. They ain't got that many ladies. And I also think Io Shirai and Kairi Sane come to SmackDown, because Paige was teasing a team that she's going to bring on SmackDown this week. So what other team can I think of other than Io Shirai and Kairi Sane that would be worth coming down? I mean, unless they makeshift a team, but don't put people in there just to make a team and they're not going to be dominant at all. Shayna Baszler's up in the air because Shayna Baszler needs to come to the main roster. I don't know if you put her on Raw because Ronda's there. I don't know if you put her on SmackDown because if I have Kairi going there, why would you do that? But if Ronda's going to be out for a minute with that broken hand, and there's no sign if she's going to come back this year or not, or she gonna come back at all. I mean, she is signed through 2021. That's her contract. So she, like, her likeness, her clothing, her video game appearances and stuff like that is not gonna go anywhere. But whether she comes back is a different story. So if you want to put a legit badass UFC person up there, then I say put Shayna Baszler up there. You could put Shayna Baszler up there, and then she can take the role of Ronda Rousey up there. Because Shayna Baszler, that'd be kind of cool. And then she can just keep it warm until Ronda comes back, or whenever she does want to come back. So that is, I can see her coming up. Just don't know where she's going to fit in all this. And I'm sitting here looking as well. I got a lot of people say. Amos, I want Amos to stay. I don't know if he goes to Raw or not, because he could use a little bit more TV time as well, because the Free Ray Mysterio, they never got the rubber match that they deserved. But no, I think I keep Amos on SmackDown. Then I'm looking at other people on the card, on NXT at least, and Ricochet, have him coming to SmackDown Live. I would like Ricochet on SmackDown Live as well. And I forgot who is the United States champion. Samoa Joe. So yeah, so he's already probably gonna feud with Braun Strowman. So that's probably gonna be a thing. But yeah, having Ricochet over on SmackDown Live, I can see that happening, and I can see maybe, call me crazy, maybe they take Xavier Woods to Raw, and he do his own little singles thing. No, I wouldn't bring up the New Day like that. I honestly would not bring up the New Day like that. Also, remember what I said earlier about a star for a star. So if AJ's coming to Raw, Roman Reigns comes to SmackDown. Damn it, because that brings him and Drew McIntyre over at the same thing also. But I can still see him doing that. But somebody big for AJ Styles has to come. Since Seth is the Universal Champion and Kofi is the WWE Champion, I don't see them switching the titles. I mean, those titles need to belong on those shows right there. So I don't see them switching those titles. But I do see Roman coming over to SmackDown. Somebody big has to come over to replace that void of AJ Styles. Now, of course, people are not going to be on the Roman train. People are going to be booing Roman, stuff like that. And, WWE has just done a terrible job with Roman Reigns. But I still think you need a big kind of badass to come over from Raw. You got to break him away from Seth Rollins and Shield stuff, even though because Dean Ambrose is leaving. So I have Roman Reigns coming over to SmackDown as the one traded for AJ Styles. If not Roman, then definitely Ronda Rousey. I see Ronda Rousey go to SmackDown, especially with the Fox deal. So these are just predictions. You guys can chime in, send emails, stuff like that. What do you think the predictions are going to be? I think that's what the predictions are going to be for the Superstar Shakeup tonight. So we got to check and make sure we see what happens with that. It's going to be very interesting because I do like the Superstar Shakeup. I just think that last year Raw got the shitty end of the deal for, which I think that's what helped. That's what also just did not help make Raw better at all. Jinder Mahal for Jeff Hardy. Are you serious? Like, easily SmackDown won that. Samoa Joe for and then they got and also they got the Miz and all, they got just so many people that helped stack their roster, and then Raw got nobody. And I was like, God, they really got nobody. So if my predictions come true, I think I'll be even balanced. I think I said Raw needs a lot more because once 3 hours and you just need a lot more to do on that show. Or SmackDown, you put some little parts in there. I think it can really turn stuff up.